pieces of evidence by getting rid of them. Let's start off with this image that was obtained when someone did a screen grab of this scene in a video. This video was filmed by a Marine officer back on the 20th of April 2021. This Marine officer was back on his military base in 29 Palms, California.
What's interesting about this photo is that frame prior to this shot and the frame after this shot does not show this object.
Although we can only see certain aspects of this mysterious aircraft that's in the picture, it turns out that the Marine officer wasn't the only one who saw this mysterious aircraft as it flew in the sky. Some officers were able to give corroborative evidence that they did see the aircraft. In fact, they were able to give us more details about the aircraft. They told us about the black hue that its body seemed to have. This intense encounter didn't seem to last for too long, however.
Some people believe that it's evidence that this object can cloak and become invisible. Some people believe that it's able to move incredibly quickly. Some people believe that it's interdimensional.
As these officers stated that the aircraft only hovered above them for about 10 minutes before suddenly disappearing without a trace. Following this mysterious encounter, the officers refused to be fooled by anyone who tried to claim that what they witnessed was simply flares. That said, once the aircraft disappeared, they were never able to confirm exactly what they had just witnessed. Turns out that these soldiers were not the only ones that were invested in this mysterious encounter that occurred out there in the California military base. Eager for answers, the Pentagon also got involved as they decided that it was best to begin an investigation which would determine exactly what they saw out there that fateful night of April 20th, 2021. As if this photo of the strange lights that could be a mysterious aircraft wasn't interesting enough, let's take a look at this catalog of photographs that was taken by a Russian cosmonaut known as Ivan Wagner. He was able to take these photos while he was on board the International Space Station just a few years ago back in August of 2020. These fascinating photos contain the images of 5 unidentified aerial objects that were tearing through space while maintaining the same distance between each other like they were in some strange formation. Furthermore, they also showed some more organization by moving in a straight line while hovering just above the Earth's horizon. Hoping to get some answers from the public,
we've shown you UFOs sighted near volcanoes, as there's a belief among ufologists that alien craft are attracted to volcanoes and other high-energy sites for the purpose of refueling.
Ivan decided to upload the images of these 5 aircrafts on Twitter, also known as Elon Musk's X. Maybe one of the many curious minds there could actually have some input as to what may be in those images. Well, Ivan will definitely get a response, although it would turn out to be a response that would leave him in surprise. You see, the images went so viral that they were eventually picked up by the Russian space agency known as Roscosmos. So fascinated were they by the images that they even wanted to know what Ivan had somehow managed to capture while he was on the International Space Station. Maybe one day they could actually get to the bottom of the mystery of what exactly was captured by the curious cosmonaut. As the Russians try to get to the bottom of the mystery of what one of their cosmonauts managed to capture on camera while he was on the International Space Station, those at the Pentagon were also looking at some of the strange events that were taking place far away from home. For those who do not know, it isn't only the United States of America that experiences encounters with interstellar beings. Apparently, if you go over to Japan, you'd find that they too have had experiences with beings from outer space. In fact, Japan seems to have had so many experiences with beings from outer space that the Japanese government has reportedly instructed all their pilots to immediately report any encounters with any unidentified flying objects directly to them. Aside from that, Japan looks to make sure that they are prepared for any encounters with these interstellar beings by making sure those who enroll with the Japanese Self-Defense Forces have been trained in what to do during a UFO sighting, so much so that they have their own protocol when it comes to this matter. Till date, there are reports of 6 of these encounters with UFOs that have been reported to the Japanese government. One of these accounts feature video recordings of 10 white circular balls that seem to be flying through the skies of the city of Osaka.
I looked at the way the light is hitting this thing, and I compared it to the light hitting the trees down here. Look at the shadow angles, they're all the same. So this is the shadow angle for the sun.
Although the Japanese government hasn't made any public comments regarding the strange UFO sightings that had been witnessed in the skies, the whole world is watching as we hope they could get to the bottom of the mysterious figures that were passing through the skies of Japan. Next up, we take a look at the images that are the property of National Geographic. As it comes from such a reputable source, people were compelled to take the photos that were captured by Sergio Loaiza all the way back on the 4th of September, 1971. Apparently, the photos were taken during an aerial survey of a beautiful lake. Everything seemed to be fine and dandy with the photos until they got back to Loaiza's development lab. This is when he finally took notice of a strange metallic figure that was captured during the aerial survey that he had just performed. Believed to be an aircraft, Loaiza and anybody who came across the images of this massive aircraft may have been taken aback by the aircraft that was calculated to have a diameter of about 160 feet. Fascinated by what he had with him, Loaiza took the images to his superiors at National Geographic. Despite the resounding proof of what they had in the shape of the photo, Loaiza must have been disappointed when these superiors turned their nose up at him. Even worse, they also went as far as forbidding him and his colleagues from sharing any information about the mysterious photos that they had captured while they carried out the survey of that lake. As much as National Geographic tried to stifle the existence of this